This is Hannibal back here with more wrestling news. Derrick Lewis, UFC fighter, 27-12, not the greatest record, and he's 39 years old, says he's in talks with WWE right now. Do we really need more like untrained people in WWE? And we saw Cain Velasquez, who was much more successful than Derrick Lewis, was a big flop in WWE, and he's more of a household name than Derrick Lewis. So to me, that's a complete waste of money. He's already up there in age for someone with no experience. Not a great record. He has had some good knockouts and stuff, has shown some charisma, but um, to me, I wouldn't sign him unless it's a very cheap contract. As far as AEW, they continue to promote wrestlers for events that aren't going to actually appear on the events. This this is from AEW's website yesterday, and this is from the Rogers Center, Rogers Place website yesterday. So the same day that the show actually happened, they false advertised John Moxley, Will Ospreay, Julia Hart, Tony Storm, and Daniel Garcia. They did not actually appear on the shows. I mean, these people are under contract, and so I don't know why they don't just use them. There's so many people under contract that they don't bring to the shows. Then there's all these Ring of Honor nobodies that end up appearing on the show and locals and stuff. Say what you want, it's already catching up with AEW. At least Chris Jericho appeared on the Edmonton show, but I mean, Jericho was advertised along with Moxley and a bunch of others for the Ottawa, London, and Quebec City shows and didn't appear. And you can't tell me that you can just continually advertise big stars that don't end up showing up on the shows and it's not going to eventually affect you. As far as this Patterson lawsuit by Michael Robidoux, he saw my report on his statement of claim that he filed in the Ontario Superior Court of Justice, according to what he says. He also said that it was served on WWE and Pat Patterson's estate. He had a couple of comments about his statement. He said that, according to him, Patterson wanted to perform fellatio on him. Uh, he didn't have to perform it on Patterson, according to what he says. He claims that Patterson retired from his executive role in 2004, the same year that this allegedly happened, but he was still there when I had my tryout in 2009, which I mentioned in one of my recent memory videos. As I guess he was a creative consultant still in 2009, and as I report, I mean, I don't look like Patterson's type at all. He was an asshole to me in later years, but when I did encounter him at my tryout in 2009, which I discussed in my draft book memories, he definitely did not make any sexual advances on me. He was an asshole when I ran into him in later years, though, just a few years before he died. Could have been his dementia, but he seemed to take great pleasure in saying he did not remember me, like a true asshole would. He also goes on to say, as far as the statute of limitations, he made a plea that apparently if someone has been charged with a sexual related issue, sexual nature, and the person with the claim was a minor at the time, um, the person, okay, I'll exactly read the quote he sent me. He said, in paragraph 45 of the plaintiff's claim, he specifically pleads subsection 16 of the Ontario Limitations Act, which is for a race of reference states the following, for ease of reference, states the following. Proceeding based on any other misconduct of a sexual nature if at the time of the misconduct the person with the claim was a minor, or any of the following applied with respect to the relationship between the person with the claim and the person who committed the misconduct. The person had charge of the person with the claim. The other person was in a position of trust or authority in relation to the person with the claim, or the person with the claim was financially, emotionally, physically, or otherwise dependent on the other person. So he's going to have to prove that there's a reason to lift the statute of limitations, which again, he's filing it on Patterson's estate. I don't know if Sylvain Grenier is in charge of Patterson's estate or not. I do know that Sylvain Grenier was discovered by Pat Patterson at a Montreal strip club before Grenier ever had anything to do with wrestling. And Grenier is a nice guy. But they were close friends to the end. Last I heard, Grenier was working for WWE as a producer or something. The first guy, strangely enough, from the concussions lawsuit that WWE took back. But I believe he inherited something. According to what Rene Dupree told me, he either got some type of inheritance or um, has something to do with Patterson's estate, since Patterson, I don't believe, was married at the time of his death. He also says that he is going to subpoena other people that have made allegations in relation to Pat Patterson related to this case. So we'll see. I don't know much about this guy. He was a referee in Ontario at a time that I was not really working Ontario much. I was still in Calgary, so I've never met him. Someone says that you do have to question the timing, why he didn't file this earlier. There's definitely there's far too many accusations against Pat Patterson to just blow it off and say, oh, there's nothing to this. I mean, just look up at some of the stuff Piper said. I mean, there's so much, the Jim Powers stories, all the rumors of Brooklyn Brawler, and Brooklyn Brawler stating in interviews he doesn't want to talk about it, and Kamala saying he witnessed some stuff with Brawler and Patterson, which a lot of people say that's why Brawler kept his job for so many years. Who knows? That's just hearsay. But yeah, I don't know about this case. I'm just saying, I'm just doing the follow-up. Um, I don't know anything about the relevancy of the case, and I haven't seen any of the proof. I've only read the statement of claim. Oh, young Macho Man Tony Storm did appear. There you go. Thank you for the clarification on that. Young Macho Man Sylvain Grenier is in charge of Pat's mistake. I don't know. I don't know about what Sabu said, but I've heard all sorts of rumors about the. Put it this way: he was signed from being a stripper to a contract before training, for whatever that's worth. I'm not saying. Um, I don't know anything about. First of all, I have seen Sylvain Grenier with women, so that's what I can say on behalf of Sylvain Grenier. And in my experience with Sylvain, he's a nice guy, and they could very well just be friends. They're both from Quebec. Just because you're a gay stripper doesn't mean anything. As far as like, if you're a stripper, sorry, for males, doesn't mean that you're gay.
Thank you
So,
for watching the Hannibal TV. Please help me out and like this video, then click the subscribe and get notifications buttons so you don't miss any of my latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Follow us on Facebook at the Hannibal TV for more live streams and videos. And while you're at it, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at the Hannibal TV.
There you go. I thought I was off. I guess I'm not.